'Cause I think we say like our last episode was like one of our best because we were super real with it.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really. That was probably the best. I think we had some gems in the early part of the season, but yeah, I think it was
But the Complex Con one
the Complex
it
Con.
was me, a giant rat.
It's all good, man. Like I don't.
It's good.
This whole thing is a learning process, and
Right.
I think we've learned that.
Oh yeah, we have like a better look at it now. We're like, oh yeah,
Well, because we know our voice.
yeah,
I think by the end of when you get to episode 10, you're like, oh, we know what we're talking about.
Mhm.
This is where our lane is metaphorically, I guess.
right.
What's up, everybody? This is season 2, episode 1 of the Difficult to Please podcast.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, I know. We're back, man.
This is Erwin.
And JV.
So, shit. There's a lot to catch up. I mean, yeah.
December, right? It was the last time we
we're
had.
at
So 5 months
5
off.
months in.
We were supposed to actually start it earlier, but then adulting happened.
Bro, you already know, like, I have a wedding coming up and planning that too.
Yeah, I
So,
remember. I was actually trying to push Erwin like a lot earlier. I'm like, yo, you do this? I'm like, yeah. And I had no results for like a while. I kept prodding you for a bit, man.
No,
I
it
just
was
kinda,
it was a solid 3 months of prodding.
yeah, because I was like,
No, I
you
know.
want to get into this? And you're like, oh yeah. I'm like, sick. Then
Well,
I've been waiting.
I will say this: in February, me and Rona went to Hawaii to check
Right.
out venues and stuff. Right,
That was all right.
and that was I made sure that the flight there, I thought about all the difficult to please stuff right then because I'm like, oh shit, But yeah, so that was like 3 months ago.
for sure. But then, yeah, I knew you were busy too because you're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have a second job for the wedding.
Yeah, so if you see me around town.
Hit him up at Erwin. Just look for a
No,
dude.
don't. You know what's funny though?
that?
Stacy was my rider the other day.
What?
So yeah, Stacy, not gonna say her last name, but Stacy was my rider the
Oh,
other
what?
day.
Or you're just like, oh hey.
Well, it was funny too because when you get a driver and stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
their face pops up on the app.
Did she choose you? Like,
No, I just was in the area where
Mhm.
she had requested, and then she hit up Ray. I was like, "Yo, did you know this?"
Erwin's also
Yo.
an Uber driver too.
Yeah, nah, it's just hustle game. You know what it is.
Yeah, sure. But then, like, I was thinking, like,
What's up?
do you feel like that's what everyone's kind of like going toward now? Because a long time ago, you told me this. You told me that with our group of friends, our jobs don't define us,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Right. So I'm wondering, like, and I'm always hearing about like side hustles and whatnot, and
Mm-hmm.
and I'm thinking, like, is that the thing now? Like, are we all like, is our generation like the generation of like side hustle, or in the here on out, it's gonna be like a bunch of side hustlers?
I think so. I think that the way that economy is set up right now, it's easy to get into. It's not like I didn't have to wait long to be a Lyft driver, so it's easier to get into, and then just the way that stagnant wages are.
Mhm.
I think for entry level jobs, it was always like, for me to hold down the current job I have, my 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm.
That took me about an extra 2 years of having experience before and being involved in other areas of work and expertise to get my job. I was 28 when I got, like, what was it? Yeah,
Mhm.
I was 28 when I got
Right.
that job, dude. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I was like 6 years out of college, and I was already like this whole like stress of post college and figuring my life out. Like, but I mean, for this generation and people graduating now, I know it's graduation season around town.
Yeah, almost
Yeah,
next month.
Well, no, because
Oh, this month too.
Yeah, because
yeah.
State already graduated, had their ceremonies last weekend.
Oh, word.
Yeah, and their finals ended all that. So I know that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, and then that UC's coming up too. So
And the high schools are coming up.
yeah. So that's why it's like I think now for those folks who are graduating, it's more I think a hustle. I think there's going to be a lot more hustle involved because of stagnant wages and plus the supply of jobs out there.
Mm-hmm. And what's going to be crazy is that they're going to enter a workforce knowing this. I mean, this is going to be a part of them. So they're not going to really be affected by it. I feel like they're going to be like, oh yeah, I just need to do this, this, and this to get by kind of thing. Like that's their mentality already. Like for us, it's kind of like, oh, after college, we're going to get a job. But we were like broken by that. Like,
No.
oh no, we got to do more.
No, and that's why I was like, I was a barista for a really long time, man.
Yeah.
Like I was a barista in college, and then while I was looking for another job or full-time work, I was a barista again. So you got to do what you got to do
For sure.
to make ends meet. And, you know, Starbucks was mad cool too. So
It's a good place to work. I
Yeah.
probably work there if I had
yeah,
to.
I got vision through Starbucks. I got health. You know, I was only working 20, 25 hours a week.
For sure.
So it was nice to have.
Hell yeah. And that's like the topic we want to talk about today is kind of like trade-offs, you know?
Great segue.
I know. I was like planning that in my head meticulously.
You're like, how the fuck are you gonna get there?
Yeah, am I just going to drop it or what? Just kidding. Nah. But yeah, the topic today we want to talk about is like trade-offs. And the fact that there are kind of like 3 stages in your life, right? Like, so the 3 factors are like time, money, and what I say was the third one? Time, money, and
Energy.
energy, right? So when you're young, you have energy and you have time, but you got no money. And when you get a little bit older, you have money and energy, but you don't got time, which is kind of like what we are going through right now. And then when you're older, you have time and money, but no energy.
Well, hopefully,
Hopefully.
right? Because it's like
Unless you're super athletic.
unless or it's like you're just super broke the entire life,
I guess. Yeah.
right?
Right.
Or yeah, I mean, there's obviously the possibility of you just not an energetic person,
I know. You could be just like, meh.
or you're just always busy.
Yeah, you could just be Daria the whole time.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I feel like in any stage of life, there's always like that triangle, right?
Right. It
And
has
it's
to
a
be.
matter of like pick 2, right? Like which is the one you want to value the most
Right,
at
and there's
that time.
trade-offs. Yeah.
And I mean, shit. Now, I mean, in my 30s, yeah, I don't have much. I feel like I don't have much time, or time just what is it? It just, I don't want to say slips away, but it's like more finite, I guess.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's the word.
There's
Yeah,
extra
finite.
24 hours in the day.
Like, this shit, man. Like, I can't be up till 2:00 in the morning,
Right.
how I used to be, or like when I was 20 something, I felt more creative between 10 p.m. and like
4 a.m.
yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do 4 a.m. on a daily, or for me it was more like 1 a.m. 2
Right.
a.m. right.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like I can't. Like, I'm fucking tired, bro. I work a 9 to 5.
This
Like, I get
takes
up
a
at
lot of time.
6.
We're doing difficult to plays. We're trying to do this, and it's like it consumes a lot of our time.
Yes.
Right. So I'm like, we can't have it at all. Like, we can't go to work, school, pursue. Maybe you can pursue art and whatnot. Like, you feel like if you do all that once, you have to sacrifice something, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, whether it's social life, or if you want your social life, then you're putting this to the side or something like that, right?
Yeah. So I think right now in the 30s, I've come to the realization that there's a sacrifice, right? There's
Right.
something that's gonna drop off for sure. And part of it is the social life, and I guess that comes along with getting older. And I was something that I would tell myself when I was early 20s is that the circle of friends that you have, it's like it's gonna continue to get smaller until like there's a good amount of people that you are confident hanging out with, and they know your circumstances that you can't come out all the time and all that, and they're cool with that, or like they'll keep inviting you to things and stuff like that. Because it's like, dude, like right now, for me, right now for me, as an example, like I come home most of the time at like 9, 10 o'clock at night because I work my second job, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or I have other things planned, or I have other commitments that require my time
Right.
away from home.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I barely see Rona. So,
Like people think I'm doing nothing, but I'm pretty damn busy with other things and other commitments and whatnot.
yeah,
And then, actually,
people
that's
always
a damn
think
lie.
people always think you're traveling, JV. Just know that.
That's
They're like, "Oh, where's JV now?" Every time I see the boys and shit, they're like, "Hey, where's JV? Is he traveling again?" I'm like, I don't think so."
it's called invite me, motherfuckers. But then I know that's kind of my fault too because I don't read the group.
It's all good. It's all
I don't read
good,
the group
man.
me as much. Also, I got a new phone, so I don't have group me anymore. All by myself.
It's all good, man. That's how you roll. I think it's fine to embrace like you're just like,
free.
yeah, dude.
No, because I'm like looking at all these pictures too, and like everyone's kind of doing like cool shit now, but they're all kind of doing their own thing at the same time, which is
Yeah.
hilarious. Not hilarious, but
yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Yeah, what I think is different now is that, you know, a lot of our friends are, you know, they're getting married, they're having kids, or they're having multiple kids at this point. So it's a lot of like people are starting to have families and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
And what's weird to me was that like I thought I was gonna have be married, have kids, have a mortgage by like 25,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, nah, dude.
No, man.
Like-
reality sucks.
Like, you know, that's what my thought was when I was, you know, a teenager, right?
Mhm.
I was like by like maybe 15, 16, I was like, yeah, you know, in 10 years I'm gonna have, you know, I'm gonna
Balling. And
I'll be all right. I thought I had, you know, so much going for me as a teenager, and I was gonna be all right. Then it's like reality, you know, started settling in after fucking college, and it's like this shit, you know.
and a financial
Like,
crisis.
what the fuck, bro? Like, I'm not gonna, you know, make that money. And I think if I were to tell myself, you know, it's like, yo, relax, man. Like, everything's gonna be all right, even if it, you know, you're gonna get married at 30, you know, 30 something. It's fine, dude. But I know my stubborn ass 20 something would have been like, shut up, old man. Like, no.
Is that how you kind of like when we were younger? Is that kind of how you looked at like the older like folks sometimes? Like when they would tell us something, we kind of be like, "Huh, we good."
I will, like, if it was a family member, or maybe not a family member, but like,
I'm saying like someone from like the camp.
no, yeah, exactly. If it was someone who was maybe like 10 years older and like was like, you know, like an older cousin type, I didn't have an older brother, but like, you know, friends, older brothers and shit like that. If they said something, I would take a little bit more weight into that, but still I'd be like, I would be in mad disbelief, or I would like be just ignorant and be like,
Right.
nah,
It's
that's not
ignorance.
gonna happen to me, man.
Yeah, it's super
Or no,
ignorant.
I got this, or, you know, shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Yeah, because I remember when we were doing RD.
Yeah.
It was, we had like the energy and time for that shit, man. We were always like updating each other on
yeah,
stuff like
for
that
sure, man.
every day, but we had like no money about it. It was like a pain for us to like pull up. I don't even know how much our first line was, like $300, $400.
Yeah, that was like, you know, a paycheck or two.
Yeah, and that was like a struggle for us. We felt so accomplished after that.
No, and that's cool. It's like when you have an idea and you bring it to life. Of course, that shit is like exciting. It gives you that energy.
Right,
But you know, it's that capital
right. Do you
to,
think
to get it off the ground.
I'm just curious. Do you think it's easier now for like people to start making shit? Because there's so much like direct or garment or ink to garment.
I think on the technical side and the production side, there's a lot more tech to move the process along. But I mean, have you heard about drop shipping?
The fuck is that?
Or like, maybe not drop shipping, but it's
imagine
or
Dropbox?
stuff like, I'm rather not drop shipping. Maybe we save that for another episode, but like Shopify and shit like.
Oh, word. Yeah. I
So
heard
it's
about shit
like,
about that.
yeah, so people will make a like an Instagram brand, and then instead of buying, you know, prepaying for a bunch of inventory,
Mm-hmm.
right? So it's like the Redbubble shit.
Right.
So then they will print your designs or whatever. So you set the markup, and all you have to pay is the third party, and they'll fucking do one-offs, which is mad easier versus doing like a 50 print shirt, right?
Right.
50,
Like the minimum, or it's like
yeah,
50
you have
per-
minimum order of like you have to do 50 shirts for the screen print because it's like $500 or whatever.
But they kind of like charge too. They kind of charge pretty high too, though, right?
Yeah, but it's just also easier to
Because you don't have to deal with the middleman.
Yeah, you don't have to deal with inventory.
Right.
You're just like, oh, I have the shirt. Just like go through my fucking Shopify, my Redbubble, and then the third party will take care of it the rest of the way, and then you get your shirt at the end, and I get the whatever cash.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, obviously there is a cut, but it's better, I think, than stock sitting.
Finding people.
Yeah, finding
printing the
people,
shit.
but also that stuff. Like I think when you have a lot of followers, or if you have a really strong brand, it's like that's easy money, right?
That is easy money. Yeah.
Like if Difficult to Please had X amount of followers or like in listeners, right? We can drop merch and then we can make some money back.
Right.
Gang, that's how you make
And
money.
freaking
That's
get
how
it.
we're gonna make money.
Yeah.
Off T-shirts again.
Off t-shirts again.
10 years later.
You know what? I still have like RD stuck somewhere in my room.
I wouldn't doubt it. I have like one RD shirt, and I think the other one I had shrank.
Word. My
Yeah.
nephew still wears it, man.
Well,
It's
good.
faded, and it's like, damn,
That's
it,
cool,
it's
man.
sick.
And then you get have holes in it, and it's a Kanye shirt, right?
Hell yeah, there you go. Kanye, whoop diddy whoop. Poop diddy scoop scoop scoop.
Fucking Kanye.
That was a great waste of an instrumental song. Holy shit, that beat was sick.
I feel like I'm being trolled by Kanye, with all his shit and social
Lately,
media.
right?
I know I'm being trolled, and then he's gonna make like a really good album.
Oh, if you really want.
But I don't know, because you know how like if you like, I was listening to a podcast. It's called Dissect, where each season they go track by track on an artist's album, and they talk like a lot of the context or like how this song is like produced, like the themes of the lyrics and shit like that. It's very like media criticism, which is cool.
That's cool. Yeah.
So the season 2 was about My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
Which is a great album. Yeah.
It was the fucking best album. Like
You think it's the best album?
I think that's Kanye's best album. I've
Anymore.
said this in season 1, but it's the best album.
I still think College Dropout's the best season.
No, I've listened to College Dropout, and then I'm like, yeah, this is a good album. And then I listened to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy after that. I'm
Artistically,
like,
it's-
shit, this is so good.
And artistically, it's a better album.
Oh yeah, I know, and it's I keep thinking about that College Dropout moment. I'm like, this was a good album, but yeah, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was like the shit. That's his best album.
You think this is a magnus opus of like
Yeah, that's like
of who Kanye West is?
yeah, because if you think about it, right? Because it was the college trilogy or whatever, and then it was 808s, and then it was My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. Like
Right.
808s is garbage, but then I think it's garbage. Like lyrically, it's garbage, obviously, and then like I didn't like any of his verses. Obviously, there were some cool beats or whatever, but I just couldn't get into it. It was because it was whole like auto-tune and shit like that.
Right.
But anyways, so this podcast dissects it, and he was saying how like that moment where he at the VMAs when he the whole Taylor Swift shit, that moment afterwards, that's like he went into seclusion, right? And then he that's where he went to Hawaii, and then he brought all the producers and made My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. So my prediction is that he's doing the same shit now. So this next album might be really good too.
Trade-offs.
That's a trade-off. That's a trade-off.
I'm gonna go hella crazy.
Someone's gonna call you out, and then you go into seclusion, and then you go like, fucking greatest work of all time.
I mean, but he deserved that call out too.
No, he didn't.
He went to TMZ and
No.
straight up said it was a choice.
It was
That shit was crazy.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I know what you're talking about
Oh,
now.
man,
I thought you were talking about 2009, but yeah, you're right.
But I'm just saying like that too. Like that's just like another thing. Now he's gonna come up with a crazier album now.
That's my theory, but obviously I'm not sure about it. And it's not. It's a theory. I don't know.
Like he needs like to charge that shit like Zangief, or not Zangief, like fucking Chun-Li. If you get the reference,
I do get the reference,
Okay,
but I'm
she's a charge
really
character.
thinking about like, is he gonna make a good album? I mean, I like the Life of Pablo.
Another waste of a good instrumental album. I swear on that album, like him and like Kendrick, they wrote each other's lyrics. Just listen to Kendrick's verse on Life of Pablo, and just like and you
Okay.
listen to Kanye's, and
Okay.
I swear those two like wrote for, like Kendrick wrote it, and Kanye was like, "Oh yeah, let me use that one. You can use my lyrics instead."
Ah shit! Now I have to go listen to it.
Yeah, it's just hella funny because I'm like, "That's Kendrick, and that's Kanye." What the fuck?
You know what I was watching the other day, or not watching, but it showed up on my timeline, was that it's the 16th anniversary of the Clips dropping Grindin'.
Huh?
I was like, 16 years?
That's crazy.
That's why I thought. I was like, holy shit.
I'm getting older.
It's one of those things again, right? Or where things you don't realize how far you are,
Right.
and then you're like, holy fuck, you're right.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, 2002, the Clips. That was like that was the beat of the summer.
Right. Oh fuck. 2002. Shit.
Shit, I'm gonna fucking play like the Clips underneath this whole fucking episode then.
That'd be
Just
tight.
on repeat.
So when we talk about making time for ourselves, like I think we can. I know we're always like really, really busy type of people, but we could definitely make time for ourselves. Sometimes I think we just do too much. I think that's what our generation does, is that, you know, and even as creative people, we don't feel like we've done enough. That's why we're always so busy. And it kind of like translates to how we live our life. Like we're working, playing games, and kind of like just stuff to feel busy. You know what I mean? But then, like, when we talk about, like, oh, I wish I did this more. Like, I wish I painted more. I wish I wrote more. I wish, like, that's what I'm saying by trade-offs. Is like, we could sacrifice, like, some of that stuff to put time into making more out, or even making more out of our day. Like, you play Overwatch, right?
Yes.
Do you feel like you could be doing something else than that?
There are things you can do for self-care, and I think we will touch upon this later this season, is
Oh, we're
that
gonna go into self-care?
yeah, I think it's
Oh shit, that'd be sick.
yeah, that's what I'm saying, is that like there are things that you can do that you shouldn't be feel like, or yeah, things you can do and you shouldn't feel guilty. Like if you want to play video games to de-stress, or you know, if you want to watch a movie or whatever to take care of yourself, make sure you have your energy to deal with, you know, the stuff you have to deal with. Then
Right.
fine, do it. Don't feel guilty about it.
Right.
But you know, there's always, and this is the theme, right? There's always a fucking trade-off. Like
There is a trade-off. So that's like the message we really wanted to bring along. Like, I'm thinking about this now because my nephew's, oh wait, he's not graduating. Fucking, never mind. But his girlfriend's graduating. So one of the things I really wanted to like distress is that, you know, you gotta think about like the choices you make, because sometimes you're not gonna have time for it in the future.
so then
Hustle now.
okay, so is that, so if I'm assuming you and your nephew are personalities are different.
Hell yeah.
So what would you tell yourself at 21, or with the in terms of trade-offs? What would you tell yourself?
In terms of trade-offs, because I didn't game when I was 20, actually, which is really weird.
That is weird.
Yeah, I only started gaming like 4 years ago again. Anyways, what I would tell myself is to be more focused on. I should have hustled harder. That's my thing. I should have hustled harder, but the trade-off was like I enjoyed life more. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I shouldn't have left Starbucks, to be honest, because I got paid like a good amount to go to school.
Yeah.
To have money, because they paid really well for a union.
Yeah,
and
they
whatnot.
did.
Yeah, and then I had to like downgrade that shit. But if I didn't downgrade that shit, I wouldn't have met like some other people over there, and probably wouldn't have been inspired to like gonna cert school and vocational school and stuff like that. So yeah, that's that's the thing though. If I change one thing, I was like, fuck, it's gonna change everything else about me.
That's like the fucking Steins Gate shit, bro.
No, season 2's out right now. Steins Gate 0, check it out. Funimation.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you change one thing, everything's gonna change, right?
So yeah, it's trade-offs. It's just
like,
things
what
really
if you
gotta
were
think about.
fucking the next Murakami? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
if you,
Like actually jumped on art more.
yeah, or, cause like if you think about shit, like some of the artist friends, like I don't know,
Andrew.
yeah, right, that to where he's at now versus when he started, right? It's different.
Right.
But that took it took a long time for him to get there.
And how much he's had to sacrifice for it.
Yeah,
too.
and that's what I'm saying. Is like, shit. Everything you do is gonna take sacrifice, and I think if I were to tell myself at 21 is that,
Oh yeah, what would you do at 21?
well,
Since I was supposed to ask that question.
no, it's all
homie.
good, man. Like, shit. I definitely was not partying, but I feel like
Yeah, you can't even drink alcohol.
I couldn't. I still can't hold my liquor. What are you talking about?
No.
Fuck.
But you and Rhonda just went to like dinner at like that one fancy ass bar.
Oh,
UTC.
Raised by Wolves.
Hell yeah.
Dope spot, by the way. No, at 21, I think, and I would have told myself rather to do more creative work,
Right.
to do stuff I wanted to do. I think I was doing more flyers for other people or other organizations, but I wasn't really working on the stuff that I kind of wish I took upon.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would have that would have helped me, I think, at this point to venture into like my graphic design style and just my whole aesthetic and shit like that. So it is what it is. But otherwise, I wouldn't. If that's how I would have approached it or told myself to approach it. But yeah, like you say, it's like Steins Gate, or like we just
You
mentioned.
change one thing and
Fucking change one thing, you change the whole fucking situation, right?
right.
So I mean, that it is what it is, man. Like, I'm happy. I'm totally happy where I'm at right now. But obviously, if I were to give myself advice 10 years ago, like, shit, hey, like,
Try it.
just go harder, go all out. Hustle, like you said, hustle if you can.
Stay at home for a while and just hustle.
Shit, I don't know about stay at home.
It's
Fuck.
tight. All right, conclusion.
All right, let's go. Outros.
Outros. Yeah, because we couldn't find a good segue into it.
There's with terrible segues. This first episode of season 2.
Yeah, we're getting back into it, homies. We're getting back, don't worry.
To our like 5 listeners.
To you 5, you guys are sick. I hope we get more. But yeah, so that's gonna be first episode trade-offs. Sounds like a speech. But anywho, yeah. But season 2 is gonna be pretty interesting because we're gonna try to get more guests in. Like we got a third mic, I think, right?
Yeah.
Oh, we do? I was trying to call it.
Shit, I thought we had. Well, we'll get a third mic.
Sick. Yeah, so we want to bring in other people who are also being 30s. Because this is funny because the reason why I brought this up is because I talked to some people at work and, they talk about, I'm like, do you like your 20s or your 30s more? She's already like, I think she's almost 40. She is 40.
Okay.
And she's like, 20s are sick, but 30s are a lot more fun because you know what's fun for you.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm pretty excited for my 30s. Like I used to fear it. I'm like, oh no, I'm almost 30. Fuck, man, what's going on with my life? Because I thought I was gonna do all my crazy shit when I was 20.
Mm-hmm.
No, I felt like hella dumb in my 20s. Like I'm like 18 with a car now. That's what my 20s were.
Ah.
And here's like $1,000 spending how you will. I'm like, fresh press juice.
Fuck.
Oh
my god.
What? You remember
No,
that
just
joke?
go. Just go. Just wrap this shit up.
So. Yeah, season 2 is gonna be sick because we're gonna get a bunch of cool guests who also share a view about what they said for the 20s and 30s, and hopefully to get some insight to help you guys out, help us out.
Well, yeah. I think this season is going to be a lot more focused on what we experienced through our 20s and what we're feeling in our 30s now and shit like that. So
Right.
yeah, there's gonna be like we're gonna have guests who know things in their specific field or have a point of view that we want to explore.
Mhm.
So I mean, it's gonna be an interesting season. Yeah, there's gonna be homies. There's gonna be people that we're gonna invite and be like have like a real like professional type shit. So I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna rock it out and fucking just be difficult to please.
Hell yeah. Peace.
Late.